Hello, my name's Cynthia and welcome to Code Logbook. I hope you're all well and safe, and thank you for clicking on this video. As this is my first video, I wanted to introduce myself and my page and just let you know what to expect from my content. So the first question you're probably asking is, why did I create this page? I created Code Logbook as a way to capture my experience transitioning into tech and becoming a software engineer. I'm about to start a 3-month coding bootcamp with an organisation called Makers Academy, and I thought it'd be really beneficial both for myself and for anyone who may be considering bootcamps to document this journey. So, what's my background? I studied a degree that qualified me as an eye specialist, but in my final year I realised it wasn't what I wanted to pursue. So prior to graduation, I already had an interest in business. I eventually started working as an account manager in a big B2B telco company here in the UK, which is where I've been for the last 2 years. So what's my coding experience? Coding is something I began exploring last year, but more so as a hobby, with the goal to one day build an app for a business idea that I had. My first introduction to coding came via the She Codes workshops by Matt Delac. The simplistic project-oriented style of teaching Matt has was great for a complete novice like me. And within about 3 weeks, Matt taught me HTML and CSS to a really good level. This allowed me to create my first ever website, which was a static landing page about agile software development. Following a further 8 weeks, I was able to expand on these skills by learning about JavaScript, APIs, Bootstrap and hosting. By the end of the 8-week workshop, I made my first ever web application, a weather app that pulled live data from all around the world and displayed it in a really colourful and fun interface that I designed and coded. All my code is open source, so you can go and take a look. A link is going to be in the description down below. So why did I decide to join a bootcamp after doing the workshop? Well, as I mentioned, when I started coding it was just a hobby. I didn't initially consider becoming a professional developer. I suppose the reason for this is probably because I just didn't feel like it would be something that could be possible for a complete beginner like me who doesn't have a computer science degree. Luckily, I have a very good friend of mine who is one of my biggest cheerleaders, and he's been encouraging me for months to become a developer. And by the end of 2020, I started to take him seriously and I began to consider what it would take to become a software developer. I was convinced that 8 weeks of video workshops on HTML, CSS and JavaScript was probably not enough to get me a job, but my friend kept insisting I apply regardless. He'd send me job openings whenever he stumbled across them, and I'd look at the requirements and think, whoa, I don't even meet 50% of the requirements. It wasn't until I actually got an interview that my opinion changed. I managed to get my foot in the door of a major defence company for a software engineering role, despite only knowing HTML, CSS and JavaScript to a really basic level and having one project on Github. It helped that my friend worked there because he was able to recommend me, which definitely got me noticed. Without going into too much detail about the interviews, yes, I did get more than one, but I didn't get the job. But I got amazing feedback, and it was exactly what I needed to validate my ambitions of becoming a software engineer. They really liked me, but they didn't have the resources to hire someone so junior at the time, so they gave me super clear breakdown of all the things that I needed to learn before they could reach back out to me when their business needs changed. So this list became my North Star. I used it to guide my next move. It was clear that I still had a lot to learn, but the question was how? How was I going to learn all this? I considered getting a master's and I considered going down the self-taught route, but neither of those seemed right for me. I'd also seen a lot of content around boot camps in America, but I just didn't know if they carried as much weight in the UK. So I explored the likes of General Assembly and QA Academy. I would not recommend them. But neither of their syllabuses covered enough of what my feedback specified I needed. It wasn't until I stumbled across Makers Academy in a Reddit post of all things that I thought I found a bootcamp that had a rigorous enough syllabus to prepare me for the world of work. So here I am, 1 month later, past my Makers interview and currently working through the pre-course material before the course officially starts at the end of March 2021. So, what can you expect from my content? My aim is to show what the experience of a Makers Academy student is like. I'll record as much as possible from my day-to-day activities and share them on Instagram. Then on YouTube, I think will be more reserved for things like structured videos about concepts I've learned or projects I'm working on, or even live coding sessions where I just sit and code with you all. If you like the sound of that and you want to see me or see more of this, just subscribe and join me on this journey. Also, if you have any suggestions or things you want me to talk about, just let me know below in the comment section or on Instagram or Twitter. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I'll see you in the next video.